SpeedGaming welcomes you to this edition of the Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament Game number 2 between fcoughlin and Scottish Brave. I'm Adirondack Rick, being joined by Norse Committee. We had a fun game 1, didn't we?
We certainly did, and I'm looking forward to another fun game 2 here.
Yes, for those of you who did not see game number 1 between these two, we had simultaneous go modes between these two, or no modes for the commentary, as Fred pulled the hook shot off Green Pendant's Hospital turn-in, and Scottish Brave found the Quake in Pendant Swamp's big chest. Now here we go, game number 2. Scottish Brave coming into the bracket rounds undefeated at 6-0, but Fred now 1 win away from the round of 32. And what mode do we have? Well, you see it on the screen, but Norse Maddie, it's time to have some fun.
We are going to have the Boss Randomizer Shuffle, which includes Map and Compass Shuffle. So maps and compasses are all over. You don't know what boss you're going to get at the end of a dungeon unless you have the compass, in which case you can open up the dungeon map, and there's a adorable little icon of each boss that will be present there to tell you what it is. So you can know, can I go back there? Do I have the equipment to kill it? Makes compasses somewhat useful.
It's the creative Mick Boss. We're now 5 seconds away from the start of this race. fcoughlin, Scottish Brave, what's going to happen first? Here we go. We're underway in game 2 of the first round match between these two. We start off in the Sanctuary, get 20 rupees here. A little bit about both of these runners. Scottish Brave wound up sweeping the group in order to make it here. It was very fun group there for Scottish Brave. 2 ended up advancing over MM2 Nest Cartridge, who was the second member in. Laggy was the third member in, and Laggy was the third member, was the number 1 seed out of that group heading into that round. fcoughlin setting up a Houlihan right now, got in. Thanks to PRD Wong's win or loss against Ravis in the final match of this group in AB. Ravis was the 6-0 out of this group. So pretty solid groups with these two had.
Oh yeah, I mean, lots of great runners were in, the group stage, and that just continues here in the round of 64. Everyone is very, very good at the game.
Yeah, and we are getting some tight matches here as we make our way through the brackets. Just one last note about this race. The winner of this pairing will get the winner of the Talmiran versus Skelly, which is currently 1-0 in favor of Skelly.
Yeah, so Fred is going the south route here into Kakarika Village. Did not get a bomb from the 50-50 drop and decided not to stay and try to farm one. So is going to head up here. Does have money though because of Houlihan, so is able to go ahead and buy a pack of 10 and be done with that.
Yeah, that's why he's not super concerned about it, although I'm sure he would love to pull that compass so that way he can find out who the boss is going to be of whatever dungeon that compass is attached to, although it probably could just very well be the Ganon's Tower boss, which does nothing.
That one's not shuffled, yeah.
So we start at the south for Fred, 300 rupees, which makes him go son of a monkey because of his Houlihan start. Now he knows that Scottish Brave is going to guarantee to have some rupees here in the start. We find the hook shot here in the Blind's hut. We also found the glove in the Thieves drop-down. So I'm thinking if we find ourselves a flute relatively soon, or a lamp, that might make the mountain very valuable.
Yeah, even if you don't find either one of those, you could sequence break it and get quite a bit. You might not see that immediately, but it's something they can think about.
Right. And maybe Fred might pull that move off, considering his south to north route at this stage. Fred trying to get some things tackled right now. Scottish Brave dropping into the well with no bombs and does not pull out any bombs inside of the chest. So a little bit of a concern, but I have a feeling Scottish Brave will be back to that sooner than later. In fact, going to buy those bombs right now.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to risk leaving that behind for too long. She's going to take care of it here in this trip, although it's going to end up not being important.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that lingers in your mind. You definitely don't want to create it as a loose square, because this game is very, very punishing when you do leave loose squares behind.
Yeah, that is, especially if you don't have the flute, that is not an easy place to get back to. It's a long walk into Kakariko, and to do it just for that one item where you have to drop down the well, that takes a while. If it's something important, if you leave it here, you might not come back for quite a while. So it's pretty rare that you'll see someone actually leave it behind.
So, Fred picking up the hook shot in just a second. Yeah, so far we've seen the compasses to swamp and desert, plus the unknown compass that is lying over at the race game. Again, information's power here. You get to find out what... Oh, that was just bad timing right there for ScottishBrave on that bomb.
Yeah, I don't think Fred will get that compass, because he left it behind. Probably not going back just for that, but Scottish might. If she blind checks the race game and she gets there, she might decide to just go pick it up. It probably might be worth that little bit of time.
By doing the tree pull with the enemies killed, finds out that it is just some hearts. And he finishes off the route here. Probably, it'll be interesting to see what Fred decides to do with this glove. But it looks like he's just going to save and quit.
Yeah, although saving quit to the sanctuary, so probably going here to drop into the back escape.
Oh, yeah. Which we hopefully will get enough frames on Fred to find out what he does pull out of here. ScottishBrave also saying no to that compass.
We'll never know what that compass was.
And ScottishBrave's going to be checking the back 3 of escape as well, as we find an unknown item, some bombs, and ether. We'll get the idea of what that unknown item was in just a moment. Oh, it was a small key. It was the Hyrule Castle small key.
Okay.
As that's the confirmation right there. Fred's key count going up to 1 was the indication. As it's time to go down to the well, the dam. Drain the water, get the 2 items inside, then Mini Moldorm exists afterwards. And we'll probably see ScottishBrave do the same. There's the flute!
Yeah, so that is logical mountain axes. Yeah, we could have taken that Hyrule Castle small key and gone right down into the Dark Cross, but I don't blame either runner for not doing that, because with the only weapons you have being hookshot and the bombs, trying to find and kill the little rat with the key in the one of the dark rooms is not particularly fun and can just take a lot of time, even if you eventually get it.
Now it's a little easier with that sword that we just found under the water. Fred finding out that the stun prize is only a single rupee, so we're not going to be seeing a lot of stunning enemies to get their prizes. I'm sure Fred really wanted to get that magic to decanter to get his magic filled up, but gets a little bit of right there. As we find a whole lot more rupees, there's the hammer, so we're now just a moon pearl away from Dark World access. And Fred bombing the NPC. It's a trademark of Fred's at this stage.
He was nice. He gave you a hammer. You know, that's a much nicer item than he normally gives you.
Yeah, but Fred's gonna bomb him if he gives him a hammer, or if he gives him 300 rupees or a single arrow. Doesn't matter what you get, he's just still gonna bomb him.
We did find our first map there, to Turtle Rock. So that will allow us to do a map check and find out whether Turtle Rock is a crystal or a pendant. Because this is a 7-7 mode, Knowing which ones are the crystals is it's important. You don't want to have to do you don't want to do a pendant dungeon if you don't have to. But until you find those maps, you don't know if it's a pendant or a crystal.
So looking at our arsenal right now, we do have a hammer or a sword in case we have a Moldorm. We, of course, also have that in case we have the Armos Knights or the Lamolas. Hookshot means that we could possibly find an Argus and be able to kill that, but anything that requires magic is not going to be beatable at this stage. Obviously, Blind's beatable and Mothula's beatable too.
Yeah, we can't beat Cold Stare, we can't beat Trinex. And
we can beat the Vitreous, although you really wouldn't want to at this setup. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this current route that Fred is on, and I'm going to assume that Scottish Brave will be soon, is going to end at the Tower of Hera. Although Scottish Brave is going to give us the check of Ice Rod Cave, which was something that Fred opted not to check.
Yeah, and, Vitreous is certainly a possibility at the top of the Tower of Hera. There is a relatively safe strategy to hang out on the right side and kill little eyeballs. It just takes a long time. It's kind of a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. So a heart container found in Ice Rod Cave, so there's nothing that's going to hurt Fred on this mountain climb, because I'm going to assume Scottish Brave is fluting to 1. And there it is. And what's your thoughts into this when we're only 1 item away from Dark World access?
Yeah, the Moon Pearl is going to be around here somewhere, probably. No. Yeah, the Dead Rock's always a problem, no matter how experienced you are at this game.
Fred got stuck on top of that Dead Rock, which allowed it to take that other heart away, and Fred now is going to set himself up to go back and do this again.
Yeah, not too bad, because it's only a little bit of time to get back to where he was, but you don't like to see any sort of time loss like that at any point.
Yeah, you don't want to be giving your opponent too much time by avoidable deaths, and that right there, even though yes, it was unfortunate he got stuck on top of the Dead Rock, it's still one of those ones that in a way can still be avoidable.
We have a question in the chat. Did we get a lumberjack check? No, we have not.
Actually, we did. I believe okay. Scottish Brave went in there, and it was 10 arrows.
Oh, okay, I missed that. Thank you.
Sword upgrade right there, Master Sword.
That will help with a lot of the bosses and make them a little bit significantly faster in a lot of cases.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Vitreous doesn't seem as dangerous. There's our Moon Pearl. So now, if you're up on this mountain, you want to see the Titans-Mids, because that way you can take care of everything on this mountain.
Absolutely. I think you still got to finish it out, and if you don't get the Titan-Mids, well, you'll have to come back at some point.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Fred just goes to Tower Hera and then comes back for Spiral Cave, or goes to Tower Hera and just leaves Spiral Cave for later if he doesn't get the mids.
I think the answer here is that you go into the Tower of Hera, and then afterwards you do Spiral Cave.
Yeah, that way you save yourself having to climb back up Paradox to get back over here to Tower Hera.
Absolutely. So Fred, going into the Tower of Hera, there will be 4 items inside with this mech boss shuffle. We haven't seen the compass, so we don't know what's going to be the boss. So let me ask you, what do you think the boss is going to be?
I've seen a lot of Vitreuses in these mech boss shuffles, and a lot of Helmosaurs. So I'm one of the 2 I think is what we're going to see up here.
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that we can't even do this Tower of Hera legally.
You think it's cold there?
Well, no, we don't have the big key.
Ah, well, I think that we're going to
Yeah, we're gonna Hera
skip that.
pot to get past this requirement, but we can't legally do this dungeon at this point. But my answer, even before that, was going to be: I think we were going to see ourselves with a cold stare as the boss. Fred did not get the Hera pot set up. And just as a reminder for those who have not seen the McBoss, it is the full boss shuffle. But by that standard, 3 of the bosses will be duplicated at random. And each boss otherwise will be used once. There's a Quake.
Yeah, so we have 2 of the medallions already. We're probably in good shape there, unless we need a Bombos, which is, certainly possible.
If this is cold stare, you wish you had the Bombos. All right, here we go. It is not cold stare. It's Mothula. It's a nice easy boss here for boss number 1. Now, next question for you, Norse Committee. Is this a crystal or is this a pendant?
Well, I mean, no idea, but we'll find out. I guess I'll say pendant.
You're going to guess pendant. Let's see if you're right.
Nope,
No, you're not.
I'm not.
It's a crystal. All right, 1 crystal on the board. ScottishBrave about to get her crystal as well.
Yeah, they will be leaving 1 item behind because they cannot get down to the basement to get the big key to open the big chest.
Yeah, you're right. We did get 3 of the 4 items.
And neither one of them is going to be particularly motivated to come get that item anytime soon, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Now watch this be the fire rod. Or, yeah, be the fire rod. Watch this be the fire rod.
I would probably love to see that. It would make the choice to where to go next very easy.
Well, yes, but also it'll make them go, well, Fred's expression of son of a monkey. Instead, it's just 10 arrows. We're fine. And because we have the flute, we're just going to go ahead and flute out of here. Somebody wishing for Cold Stare at Skull Woods. Sadly, we can't get Cold Stare at Skull Woods. But everyone loves the helicopter, right?
Yeah, Helicopter's a real fun one. Every boss is certainly fun in that dungeon room, although Moldorm is actually probably the easiest that it could possibly be in that room because it doesn't handle the moving platforms very well.
One of the harder ones for me is having Argus there.
That one is very difficult. Yeah, this would be a pretty. You have to be very careful with that fight at this health level.
Mm-hmm. Although we're going to give him a bunch of hearts here in this hype cave. Another addition of green goo and a piece of heart. So 2 1/4 hearts. And we're going to stop at the bomb shop. Not to replenish that bomb we just gave the NPC, but because we want to find out what our 5/6 are.
Yeah, this is a pretty helpful.
Although Fred is not checking that.
Yeah, it's a pretty helpful piece of information to know which ones are the 5/6 crystals. There, you can skip those maps, but it's also a little bit of time, and we're just not going to do it here.
Well, here's another NPC that's going to get bombed. Or not. Fred, please stop doing the opposite of what I tell you. Eastern and Dark Palace, both blocked dungeons, are our 5/6 today.
Yeah, so no possibility of any mimic clip shenanigans. We gotta find that bow.
As Fred writes us a message, another one of his usual things here, even though he's already gotten the item spawned here, he will still type us the word hi. Hi, Fred!
All right, so nothing useful on that South Dark World adventure there. So now let's see what's here in Village of Outcasts. Once we check Sick Kid real quick, because we have some bottles now.
And Fred, after that piece of heart, has given Sick Kid the how do you do. Now, because this is Mick Boss, there are 4 items inside of Skull Woods. Would you go into there now before you go into Thieves Town?
I think that I would, especially considering I don't have the mitts, so getting back to VOO, you have to go a little bit the long way. I think it's worth it to pop into the front of Skull Woods. We'll get at least 2 items, possibly all 4.
Green Pendant is going to be Thieves Town. And behind Sahashwala, the 3 items contain a piece of heart, another bottle, and 3 bombs. So we've already seen all 4 of our bottles. Scottish Brave is going to be checking the front section of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, Scottish Brave's doing a few more of these Light World checks before we're delving into the Dark World. Maybe hoping for some more things here that will make the routing there easier.
I feel like Scottish Brave is trying to complete the Spear 1 checks before going forward with more of the Dark World. Because you hate leaving a Spear 1 behind, right?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if it's something like the Mire or the boots or something like that.
Now, it's possible it's just a shovel, and, well, as much as we really want to dig it, well, nah, let's not.
No. So Fred not getting anything helpful there, and in Skull Woods, and not going into the Vanilla Big Key chest to check that 1 item. Just going to go back down here.
Can't blame him at this point in time. How many keys in that front section did we see? Because if we only saw the 1, then the big key chest has to be a key, but I can't remember.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I saw more than 1, and yeah, you're right. If that's the case, because the boss can't have one of the keys. So if there's 2 more keys, they have to be in the bridge chest there and the big key chest.
Mm-hmm. Scottish Brave not coming up with anything yet outside of the shovel here in the escape section. So Fred's about to go into Thieves Town. He does not know that this is the green pendant. Scottish Brave, by going to Sahashwala, knows that it's the green pendant. But what's your strategy in McBoss with regards to Thieves Town?
I like to check the front 4 and then walk straight into the boss room, because you are able to do that. The boss room is just open. You don't need to bomb the attic like you do in a normal mode, because you don't have to return the maiden to make the boss appear.
Oh, flippers in Zelda's cell.
That's a nice pickup for Scottish Brave.
Which does throw onto the table the possibility of doing Swamp Palace once we get the mirror.
Yeah, we'll be able to complete that once we get that mirror.
Providing the boss, of course.
Sure. There's nothing more fun than going all the way through Swamp Palace and finding that there's a Trinex at the end you can't beat.
Sounds like that's happened to you a few times.
At least once.
Yeah, it's usually me and the Palace of Darkness in regards to Trinexes.
That one's a good one, too. Let's see what Scottish gets in the dark here in Dark Cross.
All right, so what boss do you think we're going to get here at Thieves Town?
I'll just say it's a vanilla blind.
Interesting. Instead, it's eyeballs.
I'm always wrong, but that's okay.
I don't mind you being wrong. Because I hear what they do to commentators when they're right. They do something called burning.
Yeah, I don't want to be a witch.
And it's too early in this seed for me to be made a solo commentator because you're burned at the stake.
You can see that this is kind of a nice setting for Vitreous, because normally those eyeballs would be sitting in a pool of acid. You can't stand there next to them and just slash at them. But in this arena, there is no acid.
Did Scottish Brave not get that chest? She was really struggling with that Dark Cross room. I think she may have abandoned it.
Well, we'll see if that's important later, because that is something she probably won't come back to.
Yeah, that's going to be an isolated square, especially now that she's spawned the flippers. And so we're going to get our first look at Lake Hylia. The item on the island is going to be the 20 rupees. And we'll go ahead and see what we have over at the Man Under the Bridge, and then we'll flute to 8 and then check Zora. Fred not getting anything substantial and now wants this green pendant trip to be worth something is going deeper into Thieves Town.
Yeah, it's a fairly common skip to skip these back of Thieves chests, but Fred is not interested in leaving these behind. This is costing people. This is costing people for sure. Leaving these behind.
That was what I was about to say. Is that we've seen races where this has cost the runner the chance to win a race. So. And we've also seen times where this has cost runners the chance to win the race because they spent the time doing this and came up with nothing. It happens in both directions. So I guess it really comes down to how lucky are you?
That is somewhat of a big portion of this game sometimes.
Bug catching net, you're not feeling lucky finding that.
Fred remembering not to bomb that floor because you don't need to. Sometimes you have the muscle memory.
Yeah.
Just walk right in and you go and you bomb the floor and then you go, I didn't need to do that. Oh well.
Oh! Hi there!
Okay, yeah, so the going down in the front of Escape is really working out for Scottish Brave. Got those flippers. Now came over here to the Zora area. Going to get that bow. And going to be able to pop into Pod and Eastern at least. Maybe we won't be able to kill the bosses there, but we can get quite a few items even if we can't do that. And we do have the compass to Pod, so we don't have to worry about going all the way to the boss to find out we can't kill it. That's nice too.
Yep. Fred getting the key right there, which means there's one more item to be found here in the big chest of Thieves Town. And just as a reminder, because this is McBoss, not Tournament Hard, there are the 2 bows in the pool. Mire! Big fine for Fred!
All right, yeah, so doesn't have to save and quit. Can Mire right out? Was going to save and quit out of here, because this was pretty much the terminus of this route here. But now can take the Mire and probably will go ahead and just do K45 real quick before going elsewhere.
Now, the big question here, do we need the Mire to beat this game? That's going to be the bigger question, because right now Fred has an ability to do dungeons a little bit faster because of your mirroring ability. Now, do we know that? Do we need to do Swamp Palace? We don't know at this point in time. We'll find that out eventually. Now, Fred looks like he's about to go into the portal here, which is unfortunate given where we found that bow.
Yeah, if this is pod, unless there's there are 2 bows in the pool in this mode.
Yep.
So there's a possibility that there's another bow here in pod. But without that, this is going to end up being a double dip of pod that ScottishBrave might not have to do.
Of course, all this depends on what is the boss of these dungeons as well, because as we've pointed out before, if it's Cold Stare, if it's Trinex, we have to come back. And Fred's going to check in the green pendant now as well. And, well, it's a shield.
Not very helpful.
And as such, the Hushwilla gets a bomb. He deserved it.
Yeah, just give it as a shield. Not very helpful. No thanks. No thanks, old man.
Okay, so we got a map to Mire. We got the big key, a small key. I know there was 50 rupees in the pinball chest, and there was another key there. So it's not guaranteed that the big key chest is going to be a small key.
Yeah, so let's see if ScottishBrave goes back to that big key chest, or also does the same thing, leaves.
So Fred finding the red rupee right there knows that this Palace of Darkness is technically bow blocked. But with some goo in his arsenal, also I do believe that Fred has pulled off the Mimic clips before. He is going to get these 2 behind them as well. ScottishBrave checking the big key chest, so this was something that Fred did not get to check. If it's something big, then it might take Fred a little while.
Yeah, you probably need to find the fire rod to be motivated to come back for this one.
But instead it's our 3rd and final key, which means there's 2 items that are fire blocked. Fred pulling off the bottle glitch to get the mimics to move, so we move on further. So in McBoss, it's like the standard fare here with Palace of Darkness. There are going to be 4 small keys guaranteed in the first section of this dungeon.
Yep, could be more, can't be less.
Ever have the 5 small key start?
I have. I've even had the mythical 6 small key front.
That's disgusting.
Everything is in the back.
Yeah, that's disgusting, but at least at that point, you know you've got to check everything.
That's right, yeah.
There's no question about Harmless Hellway. You got to check it. ScottishBrave going through the village of Outcasts. Now, the big trivial part here is, does ScottishBrave go back in for that mirror?
Yeah, we will hope for her sake that she does. Because,
yeah.
That's another thing you don't want to leave behind for too long.
If she doesn't, you're hoping that Swamp is not a crystal.
Yeah, and that's not required to get into for any item.
So we do get our standard fare, 4 small keys, a red rupee, and a big key for the Palace of Darkness. Fred, because he does not have the compass, because he didn't get it out of the waterfall cave, doesn't have the ability to know what the boss of this dungeon is. Of course, without the bow, he can't get to the boss at this point.
Yeah, by the time he, gets that bow, Zoraledge, you'll probably have just exited the waterfall cave, and we'll have that information.
And it is a thieves' town, as people pointed out, that Scottish Brave knows is a pendant dungeon.
Yes, although it is a green pendant, so killing the boss does have, some value here.
Right, but going back in for the mirror is the big question at this point. Fred finds the book in Harmless Hellway, which until now, we've had no access to Desert Palace, which was another possibility with regards to needing the mirror.
Yeah, although we don't have a fire star, so no matter what boss is back there, we won't be able to beat it until we get one of those.
Right, it was just more the accessibility part anyway.
Yeah, we can get into it. We can get, a few items out of there. I think there's 4 items in Desert as well, although one could be on the boss.
Yeah.
And another one could be locked by the boots, so, you can go in there and only end up getting 2 items.
Or your whole dungeon can be blocked behind the boots because the key's on there.
That too. Yeah, you get nothing.
Good day, sir. All right, so Fred pulling up nothing in the Palace of Darkness now goes into Eastern Palace. Scottish Brave going up against Vitreous. Has the bow to make the second stage of Vitreous a little easier.
Yeah, you do have to be, a little bit careful. Green Mail can't take too many hits from these eyeballs. They'll do 4 hearts of damage.
Down to 1 hit left. Can't get hit by anything, and sometimes that lightning can get rather weird in the directions it wants to head. Scottish Brave trying to be careful here. This is a very tense fight when you're down to beeping strats.
Yeah, and you've got the beeping in your ears incessantly yelling at you. That lightning was close.
Yeah. Where Scottish Brave is right now, she is safe, and that's part of the advantage of not having to deal with that green goo. You have more of the arena to deal with. All right, 8 more arrows. This is a done fight. Does Scottish Brave go back in? Is the big question. Pulls the compass to Misery Mire. Pulls the green pendant. And I wouldn't be surprised if Scottish Brave makes the Eastern pod play soon. To Kane and Samaria in the big chest of Eastern.
Yeah, so we're getting pretty close to, we need the fire rod.
She is going back in.
That's good. So get the mirror.
You've got to think Scottish Brave is under more pressure this one, down 1 game to nothing in this series.
So last chest here for Fred and Eastern.
And he pulls out a map of Hyrule Castle. Absolute uselessness, but maybe that gets him to think about going to Hyrule Castle next. He starts at home, so this might be a Hyrule Castle play for him.
I'm not sure what else Fred might have to do here. Not a lot left, honestly. Like, there's Catfish, a Pyramid Ledge, I guess. But heading in here, especially when you haven't done Uncle, makes a lot of sense.
Graveyard Ledge, and that book is out of logic for him because of the fact that he doesn't have a light source, and there was 2 keys downstairs in that basement of pod, so he knows that is hard lamp blocked.
Yeah, you don't need to follow that one quite yet.
So that lowers his priority of checking that book at this stage. There's the shovel. We have not seen what the shovel leads to at this point yet. So Fred is going to get the flippers out of Zelda's cell. We'll see whether or not he's able to get that item out of Dark Cross, which we know that Scottish Brave had abandoned as she got lost in the Dark Cross. But Scottish Brave is about to get the mirror. This race is very, very tense for 38 minutes in, as far as the viewers are concerned.
Yeah, I think they're still going to be quite close. Fred has gone through and cleared Eastern Pod, but he'll have to return to kill both those bosses. Although he doesn't know that yet, because he didn't go to the bomb shop to find out that both red crystals.
10 arrows. And there is the Mire for Scottish Brave. Still does the opt to save and quit. And at some point, I'm thinking Swamp Palace will be on the agenda too, but
I think it could be.
Looking at where Scottish Brave is setting up to go, that is exactly where we're heading next.
Yeah, so this makes sense. The only danger is if the Swamp Palace does have a boss at the end of it that you cannot kill. It's like Mire is a pendant there, and Turok is one of the crystals. So we know two of the pendants now: Mire and Thieves Town.
We do know that we need the Cane of Samaria in that case.
Yes, and we will also need both Fire Rod and Ice Rod. No, we don't need Ice Rod. Maybe if the Trax is not guaranteed to be in Turok. So
yes. But that doesn't mean we're not going to see Trinex at all this seed. Fred about ready to go see what we have inside of this Dark Cross. Scottish Brave seeing what we have in this Swamp Palace.
That boss check was so quick.
Yeah. It's Trinex.
Okay, yeah, it is. I looked back at the delayed stream. Yeah, Trinex in the back. So
yeah,
without finding both the Fire Rod and Ice Rod here. All right, Mitz. Mitz in the first chest of Swamp Palace.
And only 20 rupees in the Dark Cross, so Scottish Brave is not going to be missing out on that. And Fred looks like he is going to join Scottish Brave in Swamp Palace. Miss out on that bow for now.
Yeah, and finding the Mitz in Swamp Palace, if he goes and does that, I think he's going to start with the Bobos tablet here.
Yeah.
Finding the Mitz in Swamp Palace could keep him away from the Zora area for a little bit longer, because there's, the Mitz will open up a little bit more.
I agree. Also, it does mean that we need a fire source and or fire rod at some point. Because we need to either do Ice Palace or Skull Woods based on this configuration.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that at least. If you don't find the Fire Rod or Bombos, you can't do anything in Ice Palace, and you can't finish up Skull Woods. So even with the Mitz, won't be able to do Ice Palace anything.
Fred trying to stay alive so that way he can get into Swamp Palace. There we go. We'll get to see how well Scottish Brave can do the diver downs with the bomb setup. Won't have the Cane of Samaria that Fred's going to have. I think she's done a pretty fine job with that diver down, wouldn't you say?
I'd say it looks like she's practiced that once or twice, yeah.
But not 3 times?
Well, now that was the 3rd time. Yeah, so, question when you know that it's Trinex in the back, how far are you willing to go?
So Fred finding out about this Trinix here, I think you go all the way to the waterfall chest.
I think, yeah, if you didn't stop with the mitts, I think that, yeah, you're going all the way.
Fred's not, though. He's out.
Yeah, that's something that I thought one of the runners might do.
Tempered sword on left side swamp.
Very nice. We're done on really needing sword upgrades. The gold sword is nice, but tempered is more than enough to finish this off.
Now, good news is Fred is checking this spot here, Ice Rod Cave, which leads me to believe that Fred will be doing the flipper checks here in just a moment as well.
Yeah, well, if he does that, we'll get the bow. The issue for him is he only has the bosses left in both Pod and Eastern, and does not know what those bosses are. Is not 100% sure that he will be able to kill both of them. So I don't know if he'll go back to those dungeons for that yet.
Fred purchasing some potion here. Scottish Brave. So far, that sword is nice, but it's not anything that's going to beat this seed for us. Here's Fred to go check the flipper stuff. Starting off with the man under the bridge. And Scottish Brave now is going to go ahead and check the big key. See what that yields at the big key or the big chest. This is really the last check for Scottish Brave, too.
Yeah, we've done everything else.
And we know that we can't beat this dungeon no matter what at this point. Even if it's the fire rod.
It is the fire rod, which is a very nice pickup here. So yeah, I have to say, probably required to go here without being able to beat it between the fire rod and the mitts.
I am going to say, honestly, it's going to be a really, really bad situation if it turns out to be the ice rod is behind the fire rod. Like, for instance, in Ice Palace or in Skull Woods. Either required to get into Misery Mire, so we do have access there.
Yeah, Fred actually did skip out on doing the Zora area checks, so still won't have the bow. Find both boomerangs. Which one do you like more? You can have them both here and choose. It's up to you.
We're going to dub that as the Boomerang Cave as opposed to Mire Shed.
Hey, might want that compass. Oh, no, it's not a very useful compass at all.
Well, thank you, game.
Yeah, game is having a laugh here in the last couple seconds with Fred.
Mm-hmm. All right, 6 items in here. However, can we even do anything with this Desert Palace? Well, we can't beat it.
Yeah, well, we couldn't beat it anyway. Even if we find the lamp here, we won't be able to beat it. It's just bombs, so we get nothing.
That's it for Fred. He is done.
And we know that Desert Palace is boost locked. We don't know yet if it's required. We do know
that it's Argus at the end.
It's Argus, so we could beat Argus. We don't have that third pendant information, though.
Would you like that third pendant information?
I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it either. Hopefully we can find that information out real soon.
Well, we know that this one is the second pendant, Misery Mire, that Fred is about to walk into, while Scottish Brave is going and doing all the pod checks here that Fred did.
And if Fred is observant, he will know that this is a pendant dungeon. Thanks to that letter P that's up on the top left corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Fred ever did a map check. If he did, I missed it. The other thing I'm not sure of is if Scottish Brave has checked what boss is here in Pod. Probably not thinking about it too much because isn't going to go right to the boss anyway. But she does have that compass, so she can check it.
I can answer both questions for you. They didn't.
Okay. Oh, there was a boss check.
Blind is the boss of this Misery Mire. Fred got a lot of help in this first race against ScottishBrave because of a pendant Misery Mire. That was the green pendant in game number 1 that yielded the hookshot off fcoughlin. And the rabbit hole goes deeper as we find the big key. There's item number 1.
Yeah, even knowing that Mr. Mire's a pendant, it's not a bad play to go into because of in the map compass shuffle. There's 4 items in here.
Yep.
So just like any of the dungeons, it's a little bit more item dense, a little bit more valuable.
Fred without a key. He never took one from the pot. Can't get over the other side. That's an unfortunate oops there for Fred.
Yeah, that is true. It does not have a fire source, so there's a couple chests in Mire that Fred cannot do.
Yep, these over here on the left-hand side. The only reason why he wants to go through that door is so that way he can lower the switch to get this chest here, as well as the chest that's in the map chest. And we get key number 1 inside of a chest. There are 3 keys in chests here in this Misery Mire. Two of them are required to get to the boss.
Yeah, and I think you need 3 chests to get to the 3 keys to get to the cutscene chest.
Yep, as well as the compass chest on the other side. Well, one can block the big key, if that's the case. So there's number 2. Bohobos! Oh!
Well, doesn't need the fire rod for Ice Palace now.
So now the only boss we can't beat is Trinex. So the fire rod leading to the ice rod is not only going to be a thing now, if that is in Skull Woods.
Yeah, that's right.
We just got a map check there from ScottishBrave, and it is looks like the Lambolas. Not sure what just happened there with ScottishBrave.
It seemed like she shot the arrow at the switch and it didn't hit. And
okay, yep. As we get another useless compass, the compass to Hera again. I bet Fred goes to 8 now. And this is not going to be the flipper checks that we're hoping for, because we know he needs to find that bow.
Yep. Probably,
It's Ice Palace he's probably going to now. Although he's scouting out Hylia Island. Finding out that it's just a red rupee there. Oh, he is going to go to Ice Palace. He swam a little further south than I expected him to.
Yeah, I could see him doing this when he's finished with Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Exit, mirror, and do it. And I think that would be the more efficient way of doing it.
Did that freezer get out of there enough?
Cut it really close.
No, it didn't. That's unfortunate. You gotta let it leave its home just a little bit before you start to use the bombos or fire rod against it. Otherwise, it just stays alive and doesn't melt.
That's very safe in its home, so you have to let it come out of its home.
Scottish Brave getting ready to show us what we have inside of this Palace of Darkness, as far as whether or not it's a pendant or crystal, or the 14th and final item. And you good patience there on the land while the fight. I know some runners would opt to just try to spam that fire rod, but not this case. Scottish Brave gets the crystal out of the Palace of Darkness and now has taken a 2-1 crystal lead.
Yep, but I would imagine be immediately mirroring and heading into Eastern Palace now and get that Canis Maria and maybe complete that one as well.
Being reminded by chat that it is one of our 5/6s, Eastern being the other 5/6, so yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and beating both these dungeons will also allow us to see what's inside Pyramid Fairy. If again, with the caveat, if we can, you know, I think the only boss that Scottish Brave cannot kill being Trianex, and we already know one's in Swamp. It's pretty unlikely that there's another one here in Eastern Palace.
Yep. 3 bosses get duplicated. We haven't seen any bosses be duplicated yet, but there's several bosses we haven't seen yet to begin with. Moldorm is one of them. We haven't seen Cold Stare. Fred getting the map to Eastern Palace. We haven't seen the Armos Knights. Nor have we seen the Helmsar King.
Yeah, lots of different options here. All of which Scottish Brave will be able to handle.
Scottish Brave about to get the Canis Maria in just a moment.
Yeah, while Fred wraps up this Ice Palace trip, I don't think he's found anything of
No, he
value.
hasn't. No, he hasn't.
So he's really hoping it's not a pendant, because then this will have been all for probably nothing.
All right, here we go. Fred finds we have our first of our Moldorms. It's 5-eyed this time around.
Yeah, with no holes in this floor, there's very little Moldorm could do to avoid a quick and painless death.
Our container is the reward, and it is a crystal. 2 crystals for Fred, 2 crystals for Scottish Brave.
All right, yep, and that leaves just Desert, Swamp, and Skull, I believe, as the possibilities for a final pendant. So we still might not need to kill that Trinex at the end of Swamp Palace.
Fred dives into the water, so we are now going to get those flipper checks. And he probably will be doing his famous exclamation once he sees the bow on the ledge there, knowing that he's already dug Eastern and Palace of Darkness. And despite whether or not you know it's a pendant or not, you're going to finish off Eastern Palace when you're here. You're in the vicinity.
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure if Fred has checked any of the dungeons at any point. before going into them. So
yeah, because he never visited the bomb shop. He never checked the green pendant information. Helmassar here at the end of this Eastern Palace. So that means the Armos Knights and Coldstar are the only two bosses we haven't seen yet.
yeah, so we're either going to see those or some duplicates in these last few dungeons, and then on the GT basement or climb.
There's the bow for Fred. Saves and quits. We get ourselves a map to Swamp Palace.
Okay,
and
well.
Eastern is a crystal. As we already knew, it was a 5/6. And while we've reached ourselves closer to the hour mark of this race, Scottish Brave about to check the Pyramid Ferry. Be sure to follow both of these runners, fcoughlin and Scottish Brave. You got to meet Scottish Brave a little bit last week on that end of groups introduction to the bracket phase. Got to see the ink work she's had worked on with her arm. Go watch that group special back if you haven't already. fcoughlin, who is known for being the creator of the Zelda 1 randomizer as well as the Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer. And based on his intro video, also some Mega Man stuff, and also has done some work with... we just got a map check, and I just missed it so fast.
Yeah, I missed that as well.
It's the Crystal for Swamp.
Okay.
Desert's our last pendant. Wait, we don't know that yet. We got Skullwoods as a possibility. Never mind.
One of the two. One of the two.
One of the two, but Swamp is a crystal, so we are going to need to find that ice rod.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, so both of these runners, definitely fantastic people. Be sure to follow them. Also, be sure to follow our tracker doing the work behind the scenes, Ginix Girl, or Ginix Girl. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly. Ginix Girl. Anyways, shout outs to our tracker.
Yes.
Pyramid Fairy is Map Fairy. Pendant Skull, we have all of our information.
All right, yep, so we do need the boots too, because we need to beat Desert as one of our crystals. So Ice Rod and boots are what we're looking for here, at least on Scottish Brave side. Fred will need to get into the back of Swamp and get the big key and go open the big chest to get that fire rod.
This is where Fred not having the fire rod out of the swamp would have hurt him, but he did a good job there with all the turtles. Knew that they're all turned over, apparently.
Yeah, if you know the NMG strategy that's typically used for that, if you pull that off with your muscle memory, all the turtles will be on their backs, and you can use that Bombo or Ether medallion to kill them all. Not always easiest to pull off, but Fred did a good job there.
Mm-hmm. Now, another thing Fred's not going to be able to do with this fight is he does not have the fire rod to make easy work of these Lamoldas, so it's going to be a little bit of a longer fight.
Yeah. We also saw Scottish Brave, after doing the pyramid theory there, mirroring and going back to do that dark cross that she left behind. Good idea, because that's the closest you're ever going to get to doing that. And if that chest is niggling in the back of your mind, gotta go back and get it.
But one thing bothers me about that Norse Committee.
And what's
she's
that?
she's now effectively orphaned off Catfish.
There is that, yeah. That is something that's going to be tough to ever go back to at this point.
Yeah, that might be a very, very difficult proposition for Scottish Brave.
Yeah, the only thing that could bring her there maybe is if she finds the boots, and then she can go, do the North Dark World checks with those boots and the Graveyard Ledge, and then swim over and do Catfish.
But a lot of the same checks going on here between these two runners at this point, which is where we're going to see the routes come back to a convergence. Now, Fred is going to be putting off Swamp Palace for a little while because he knows that there is a Tridex at the end. So it's unfortunate news for Fred, the fact that that Fire Rod is in the big chest. At some point, he's going to have to get drawn back there, but I'm just concerned if he starts to find more breadcrumbs to follow.
Yeah, for him, even if he finds the Ice Rod, somewhere else, he's still going to be thinking, oh, I need the Fire Rod before I can go back in there. And so we'll have to see, at what point does he decide to go back in there. And for his sake, hopefully it's after he finds the Ice Rod, then he'll find the Fire Rod and be able to finish it off there in one go. But we will see. There's still quite a few of items there for him to find, so he could be drawn back to it at some point. But
yeah. Answering chat, we don't know what's on Catfish. We just know that, unfortunately, Scottish Brave at this point has made it a harder path to get back. She's still got an out. I can't say that she's never going to get back there. She can still check it with the Graveyard Ledge, so she does have an out. Having a little bit of issues with the Icebreaker, though. And I think I'm seeing the shadows of the feet just she's turning a little bit further. Oh, no. And that's the last chance she had with that magic. Gonna have to swallow down the green potion. And if you're on your last race here, you're down 1-0 in the series. This is infuriating to you.
Yeah, I think I've been in this situation before. It's like, why is it not working for me today? Why can't I do this?
Yes, and if you really start to tense up, this is just going to be absolutely unfortunate. And one of the things that I find that helps me with regards to Icebreaker, as we're seeing her abandon the play for right now and trying to establish herself at the door, sometimes it's easier to just do the pause buffer when you're on that half a tile there with the doorstep in order to make sure that you stop where you need to stop. There we go.
Sometimes walking out of the room and then walking back in just resets maybe your mindset, if nothing else, and allows you to go ahead and get that done.
All right, Fred's going to be going to check the Pyramid Ferry, get the 2 maps, one of them, which he already knows about. And yeah, we know that certain people do some pause buffering in order to set themselves up with that Icebreaker, which is what I was trying to say there. Hitting the start button before you start to do the diagonal down right sometimes can be a big help.
Yeah, a sword buffer can help as well with that.
Yeah, and that looks like exactly what Scottish Brave was trying to do.
Yeah.
Anyways, Scottish Brave making her way through this Ice Palace.
Yeah, and Fred, we'll see if he goes to Catfish after this, or Graveyard Ledge. You can walk up north there, go to the Graveyard Ledge, and then go back over for Catfish, and he might do that because I don't think he has too much else left. He does have Dark Death Mountain, as well as the Swamp Palace to do here. No one has gone up to Dark Death Mountain yet. And checked any of those things. So he's another thing that Fred might be looking for the Fire Rod for, because of those 2 chests in Turtle Rock that you need the Fire Rod to access.
True. And there's map number 1 and map number 2 for Fred. Gee, thanks, game. Fred taking a look at the map and now knows his pendant information. Scottish Brave has not been into Mire yet, so hasn't gotten the 2 boomerangs out of Mire's shed, but hasn't scouted out the fact that she needs the boots either.
Yeah, and hasn't gotten that Bombos medallion, which we don't know if we need that because we don't know what the entry requirement for Turtle Rock is yet.
Where was that Bombos again?
That was in Misery Mire.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. That was the only thing that Fred found of value inside of that mire.
Yes, he also left a couple chests behind because he couldn't access them without a fire source, which he still doesn't have.
Mm-hmm. Which is obviously painting the question, where's this lamp?
Yeah, I think we're getting close to being very few places left that it could possibly be. Maybe here in Catfish?
No, Catfish is just rich. And we get our first check of the mountain, as Scottish Brave now gives the look over at the Mire Shed area.
Oh yeah, our tracker reminding us that they both got that shovel a very long time ago, and neither one has had any interest in checking it. I forgot about that shovel.
Well, these runners can't dig it.
They can't. They could if they wanted to, but they won't.
Fred's going to give us a check of the ether tablet first while we're up here on the mountain. I do want to point out there is also another possibility here, Norse Committee.
What is that?
Remember what happened early on in this seed?
Barely, but yes.
These runners did Hera without a light source, and the big key is locked downstairs.
That's right, yeah, there is that one item there in the Hera big chest, which even if Fred wanted to do, he still couldn't.
Right, he can't do it, but this just reminds me of the fact that that still is out there. Scottish Brave now finding out that the boots are going to be required this seed. And no matter what, we can get into this Turtle Rock. We have all 3 medallions. Scottish Brave will have Medallion 3 in about maybe 3 to 4 minutes from now. And it is required to get into Turtle Rock.
Okay, yeah, so the Scottish Brave going over to Checkerboard. We'll see if she goes back to this Pendant Mire. She does have a couple different options instead of doing that, but I think
she is abandoning that portal and is going to check the Agena to get this compass that she doesn't need. It's because we know it's old information. We've already done that dungeon.
just 20 arrows here in Super Bunny Cave.
You love to see it. Not if you're the runner, but at this point in time, there's a lot about this seed you haven't loved about as a runner. And Scottish Brave is fluting away from Misery Mire, and oh no.
Yeah, this is going to be the
she is setting herself up for a repeat trip up this mountain. Which Fred is going to be doing the same thing too, but if you're looking for somebody to set up an advantage, unfortunately, there's our lamp.
There's a light source there for Fred. Not the one he wanted, probably, but
it's the one he gets.
Yeah. Yeah, the Scottish Brave might be doing Spike Cave here first.
No, I think she's doing the same setup as Fred and is going to be checking the ether tablet. So there's no guarantee that Fred can make it through. Obviously, it all depends on how the keys work out.
Yes, certainly very possible that there's at least one of a small key or big key on the fire lock side on the right.
Or it's possible we could get all the way through this dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, if
there could be two dungeon items over there.
Yeah, we'll leave those behind for a while, I'm sure. But yeah, it's certainly possible that with the right little key setup here, we can get all the way all the way through and beat whatever boss is back here.
But we need to find a key over here first. And that's the end of that for Fred. All right, so we do need to get a key out of that right-hand side. ScottishBrave finding out that the bomb boost is required for this seed, and Fred is about ready to do the spike chest. Although, I wonder if he thinks about doing Hera downstairs now with that lamp that he's got.
He certainly might. Either that or just going straight to Spike Cave here. I do enjoy that both our runners came up here cannot complete Turtle Rock, but for different reasons.
Yeah, it's kind of funny for that reason, but in a way it's also not funny. So Fred's not doing Hera at this point. He's doing Spike Chest.
And I don't really blame him.
I don't blame him either.
That is a lot of time sink just for that one item there.
Fire Rod was in the Swamp Big Chest, and Trinex is the boss of Swamp Palace, so low priority to do it. Another useless compass.
Yep, and we do have the Compass of Swamp, so we know that both runners know that it's Trinex waiting for them at the end of Swamp. So they know they need both rods.
So, Fred, you're down to just a few more options at this point in time. I'm going to assume that this is going to be to finish Mire. No, it's not. Fred has proven me wrong like 6 times this seed already in the first 75 minutes of this seed.
Yeah, is this...
Oh my goodness! ScottishBrave is going back into Hera. And Fred's checking the one check he has in this Skull Woods, which we know is nothing.
Yeah, it's just a key. Yeah, we're gonna see what's here on the Hera Big Chest. This could be a big swing here for ScottishBrave if there's boots or the ice rod here.
Yeah, if it's the ice rod, then it's lights out at this point. Because Fred has pretty much made it a known thing that he's deprioritized that Swamp Palace dig. Because he got the mitts, he left. He saw that was Trinex, he got the mitts, he had a lot of options, he was gone. Fred is going to give us the graveyard check now.
Yeah, I think so. Or could just walk in and do the Smith sequence, which neither runner's done yet.
That's true. Alright, ScottishBrave gets the big key now, going upstairs. We already saw this from ScottishBrave, that was just 50 rupees there. Nice Hera pop for ScottishBrave. That has to feel good after the issues she had with the Icebreaker. And it's just a piece of heart, so Fred's not going to be disappointed with that.
Yeah, that Hera skip's working out for Fred. Now we'll get this, I think it was Compass here in Spike Cave.
Yep. It was Ice Palace Compass. There's a heart container that Fred wants no part of. Now do we go into Mire? I think Fred wanted to find the boots so that way he could do Desert together with Mire, but he's not going to... You're not going to get that, I don't think.
Yeah, he wants to find something, I think, to go into any one of these different places, like either Mire or Swamp.
Yeah, I think if you're really looking to the mind of Fred at this point in time, it's like, I don't want to do Mire until I have the boots to finish Desert. I don't want to go back into Swamp until I have the Fire Rod and Ice Rod. The unfortunate thing for Fred is that, as we know by ScottishBrave, one of the 2 elements is there.
Yeah, so I think that now we're going to get the Smith check here from Fred, and he's going to be able to do the Smiths, the hammer pegs.
Check the shovel.
Check the shovel as well as purple on the way to doing purple chest. I think that's probably in the cards.
Our tracker is going out of her mind because of the fact that they haven't checked the shovel yet, and we had that back. What was that, Hype Cave when we got that?
I think that was...
It was on Uncle, Spear 1.
Yeah, it's on Uncle. Yeah, Uncle starters might have checked this a long, long time ago. Because they would have gotten that so early fetch quest. Go check that. It'll be kind of funny to me if we get the boots on the smith here and leave, go do desert.
And at this point, your mind is probably starting to panic, especially if you're looking at that timer. Like, you're seeing that it's now 78 minutes into this seed. You are 3 items away from go mode.
Yeah, that is not a good feeling.
As Fred shows us what happens when you hammer the breadsmiths. They don't take their jobs.
I've never actually seen that.
Fred mirroring, which made me think he was going to actually go and flute off to 7, which would have probably blown a gasket in our tracker's mind. However, I think he's realized it's time for him to actually check this shovel. A shovel that we could have had 45 seconds into this run is about to get checked. All right, place your bets. What is this item? A map that we don't need anymore. A map that we logically need in order to make a dungeon beatable. However, not to be the case. But I also think that this could actually be what gets Fred back into Swamp Palace. If he checks this and then goes in the swamp, then it's a whole different ballgame at this point. Yeah, it's Fred, but it's not the Fred we're looking for. Fred going back into the portal. He's going to go back to swamp. This is a crazy race, Norse Committee.
Yeah. Assuming he goes all the way back and finishes and makes sure to get that big chest, he'll get the fire rod. Unfortunately, he'll need the triple dip swamp, because we know the ice rod isn't there. But that will allow him to get to, the back of Skull or finish up Turtle Rock once he gets that fire rod. And I'm thinking that, the fire rod or light source is blocking the ice rod at this point.
Yeah. So the fire rod is in the big chest here of Swamp Palace. The big key is located in the submerged 2 chests. The bombos, which Scottish Brave is lacking for the Turtle Rock, sits inside the Mire map chest.
It looks like Mire is where Scottish Brave is going to go now, which is good.
Mm-hmm. And I think with all of this going on at this point in time, it feels to me like Scottish Brave will have a little bit of a lead once we finally get to where these 2 paths come together.
Yeah, and if there's additional progression here in Mire, she'll definitely have an advantage there, I believe.
But maybe Fred pulls the mulligan here and opts to check things in a different order. I don't know. This is going to come down to the classic ice rod hunt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's either going to be an ice rod hunt or a boots hunt, because those are the 2 things that we know that we still need for both of our runners.
Game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Fred having a 1-0 series lead based on the game 1 win. Time to 135 after a couple of pendant dungeons came out in Fred's favor. But game number 2, I'd be surprised if this is finished in 135.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hustle if they're gonna do it that that fast.
I just know that you're not feeling good when you only have 4 crystals at the hour 23 mark.
4 crystals, 2 to 3 items from go mode. Kind of wondering, like, all right, well, maybe my opponent's gonna be done soon.
Yeah. Scottish Brave getting the information about this dungeon that it is going to be blind as the boss. Just as a reminder, we have not seen the Armos Knights or Cold Stare. Those are the 2 outstanding bosses at this point in time. Please don't take a death, Scottish Brave.
At least not before getting that Bombos medallion.
Fred is going to get the Tempered Sword here in just a moment. Difference in these swords have not really led to anything as of now.
No, I don't think Fred was hampered very much by not having that Tempered Sword. Had a little bit longer of a landmass fight, but it wasn't too long. And other than that, really hasn't had much of an impact. Now they're using both swords.
So that's the red, but it's not the red we are looking for. Bombos for Scottish Brave will be found shortly after we get done doing the cutscene chest. The Bombos was located in the map chest of Mire.
Yeah, and Fred does not want to see progression here on this cutscene chest in Mire, because that would be a place he's probably not going to come back to.
Here we go.
And it's not.
You have to do your due diligence, check the waterfall chest, and then go back upstairs to check what's in that big chest. So twice today we get to see this unusual room.
Yeah, you don't see this room very often in one of these races, but there it is, twice. Let's see, Scottish is going to get the medallion. Is she going to finish it? Looks like she is going to finish Mire.
Yeah, Fred is not happy with that fire rod placement. Plants the bomb there, and now this race can get decided in multiple ways. There's still like 3 different forks that this seed can go take us on. And Fred is going to go up and see what we have in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, which I definitely understand. It's the crystal. There's going to be a bunch of items in there.
And you've already know that there's 1 Trinex out of the pool. Now, there's still a possibility that it's the second Trinex, but you feel better knowing one's out of the pool.
Right. I don't think we have the compass for Turtle Rock, so we cannot check the boss. But the Ice Rod could definitely be in Turtle Rock at this point. So, we might end up not needing to care by the time we get to the end of it.
And I think at this point in time, if Scottish Brave does not pull anything on blind here, maybe you make a play for the pedestal. Because you feel like you just dumped a lot of time. Yes, you could pull out the bombos, but you feel like you just dumped a lot of time in here.
Yeah, it could be one of those I feel behind. Why don't I go to the Skull Woods and check the pedestal at the same time?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how you don't feel behind closing in on the... If you're watching your timer, which can be a double-edged sword. If you're watching your time, you're closing in at 90 minutes, and you're still 2 items away from go mode. You've only got 4 crystals, and you're down in this series 1 game to nothing. You're feeling probably like, oh no, my tournament is about to end here.
It's got to be a rough feeling right now for both of them.
Both of them, yeah. Now, maybe she doesn't. Who knows? Maybe she goes straight here to Turtle Rock. Eastern Palace Compass. Thank you, game.
There's so many items in Turtle Rock, and it's crystal. It'd be pretty tough. It's tough to skip out on doing that, even if it means another mountain trip and everything. We'll see though.
7 items in Turtle Rock, a very hard thing to pass up. We got a small key off the blind, so there wasn't anything else to be there. And I think Fred knew that. Well, he didn't, because he didn't do the cutscene chest or the compass chest, because he didn't have a fire source at that point, so he didn't have a way of knowing that. But yeah, all 4 items have been found inside of Mire.
Yeah, so that was just for the pendant.
Yep, and here comes Scottish Brave up the mountain as well. So I actually am incorrect there on the fact that I don't know why I was thinking Fred was going to come back to Mire, but Fred does have a little bit of an advantage right now in this game.
Yeah, they're basically at the same spot now. With Scottish having done the rest of Mire that Fred hasn't done, but they're both going to be in TR, but Fred's further along in TR. Assuming he doesn't take a death here.
Yeah, taking that bop from the skull is not necessarily a good idea, since they do 4 hearts damage. This Turtle Rock is here to kill you if you didn't go and pull the blue mail out of Ice Palace and Vanilla. Fred wisely realizing there's a heart there in that top right. Good game awareness. Now, our tracker, Genix C Girl, is reminding us that if it is the pedestal, then Scottish Brave does have an advantage, but it's hard at this point. We don't know.
If we don't, what we need could just be sitting in the back of Skull Woods. Boots means that we still have to check a few more things to go on our Ice Rod hunt, because they'll open up the rest of the desert, and Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb. Oh,
Ice Rod!
There's the Ice Rod,
in
okay.
the big chest.
So, forget what I just said. We just need to find the boots, and they won't be locked behind any of those boots checks.
So just boots away for go mode, because we have the big key of the Desert Palace sitting on the torch. Your heart's pounding. This is game number 2. Thank you for watching us here on SpeedGaming 4. Nurse Manny, are you having a good time?
I am having a good time. This is definitely one of those fun seeds to watch and less so to play, probably.
That's why it's good for you to be in the booth for this one. Alright, Fred's going to have to be careful. One hit by a laser will put him back to the entrance to the big chest. So he's going to decide to wisely go and open up safety door right now.
Not a bad plan, yeah. Might not have quite enough magic to use that kind of Burna on all of these laser skits here.
There's a small key, which we knew had to be down here. This one's going to be a little difficult, yeah. I knew because it was a little too far up that was going to be a difficult one for him to sneak past.
That's why you take the safety door.
Oh, yeah. Round 2, fight. 10 arrows. And we don't even know what our boss here is, but of course we can now be all the bosses. Thank you, game.
Useless map, yep.
Oh. That Helmstar's gonna die for making Fred lose 3 hearts in that.
Punishing Mini Helmstar there.
And that one's just gonna die just because. Fred's gonna have to be careful with this pokey, just to the fact that if he touches that, he's back to star here, but he does take care of it. Alright, what boss are we getting here, Norse Commandy?
Oh gosh.
I say Armos Knights.
Armos Knights? Yeah, I'd say Helmstar.
How about we get our second blind fight?
Get some Burna stress here. When blind's hanging out at the top here, the spikes can get a little bit of a pain.
And Fred is finished off with a blind fight. Item number 12 is 300 rupees, and he claims the first crystal we've seen in a little bit. And Scottish Brave now pulling up that ice rod and probably muttering a few words that we can't air here on SpeedGaming 4. Alright, so the boots. They could be on Trinex in Swamp, which will be the next stop that Fred goes towards. They could be in Skull Woods. They could be on that P word.
Yeah,
and we're gonna find out what's on that P right now.
Fred, once again,
or not.
Just not doing what you think he's going to do. He's not going straight to.
Hold on. Okay, Norse buddy, I had to do this. I apologize. Fred, start doing what I say in commentary. Got it? Okay, I'm back.
All right, yeah, he's throwing a loop here, and he's going to actually go do the back Skull Woods first. I guess he's thinking it's a long walk over to Trinex and Swamp Palace.
He probably didn't hear me.
He probably, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you need to open your window.
I probably do need to open up the window, but, you know, nah, we're fine. I don't think the neighbors need me to hear me yelling at Fred. They're probably going, who's Fred? Here we go, pedestal check.
Yeah, getting the pedestal check in with the Skull Woods check.
Gotta go fast. Oh my goodness, it's the magic powder!
Which possibly, just possibly, could lead to the boots. Well, if it is this, I think Scottish has a little bit of an advantage having already completed Mire. If they're just back here in Skull Woods, then I think Fred has the advantage for sure. But and if they're in Swamp, and that's where Scottish Brave goes next, well, that's advantage to Scottish Brave. So
that's red, but not the red we're looking for.
Even now, hour and 37 minutes in, we do not have a good sense of who's going to actually win this match.
I bet you if you find the mushroom, you do fake powder.
I think so, yeah. You fake powder and then you turn the mushroom in.
Alright. What do we got? Armos Knights. Oh, come on. I wanted a helicopter!
Yeah, a little bit of glitchiness still with the Armos Knights fight. They can kind of end up bouncing their way into the top of the screen and having to be popped back into this room. So, not helicopter, but there's still a little bit of fun to be had here. And no boots, though.
And it's not here. Scottish Brave going to swamp. Oh dear.
All right, so knowing that the powder is on the pedestal, is Fred going to do Mire next, or is he just going to go swamp?
I'm going to give up guessing what Fred does. He has done the opposite of what I've said for the last 100 minutes.
I was trying to bait you into
He is going to Mire. Oh my goodness, and if it's not on Trinex. Oh dear.
Yeah, so he's going to go in here, and he's going to probably feel like he has to kill the boss, even though it's just a key. There's no item there.
And he knows that the boss is the second helping of blind.
Yeah, so basically is what it comes down to is, are the boots on the pedestal with the powder, which is on the pedestal, or are they on Trinex here?
That's a very good question, and we're going to find out in about a minute and a half, as Fred is going to go and check the two chests over here, make sure they're out of his to-do list. He's even going against what chat said, because somebody in chat said he was going to not do left side, and here's Fred checking left side.
I just don't see how you can skip left side here.
And if it is on Trinex here for Scottish Brave, oh wow.
And I think Fred hasn't done the Hera big chest. I don't think he's going to, but something he could think about. Has to keep in the back of his mind.
You're right. You're painfully right about this. And Scottish Brave hasn't done Catfish.
Catfish, or I don't think Graveyard Ledge either, I want to say.
Yeah. So if it's not here, okay. Fred bombing the cutscene chest. Trinex going down for Scottish Brave in stage 1, now to stage 2 as Fred dives the basement of this misery mire. What a misery seed it's been for both of these runners. Are the boots here?
Holding my breath.
They are not here!
Oh, man. Oh, man.
We have a pedestal seed!
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that neither one of them I check. I don't think there's anything left. I think it's got to be on that powder.
Scottish Brave getting ready to flute. Flutes to 3. Is this a check into Skull Woods? Is this a check to North Stuff? Fred getting spooky.
Yeah, it could very well be
And
Skull Woods, and then if you don't
Scottish-
find anything in Skull Woods, then go over to do Graveyard Ledge. I don't know.
I think Scottish Brave has a minimal lead based on the fact that, one, she's already done Swamp Palace. Number 2, she's going to check that powder immediately after pulling it.
I would have to think.
You have to at that point.
Having done Mire, yeah, having put off Graveyard and Catfish for so long, we feel like your best chance is if that powder leads to the boots.
Now, that being said, Fred's going to get the pedestal first. Because he'll mirror out of here, flute to 3, pull the pedestal before Scottish Brave has the Armmost Knights down.
Yeah, and he will have the boots for that Swamp Palace trip, so he will go a little bit faster.
It will, yes. He's not going to be happy about it.
No, he's still got to do this whole thing. He's got to walk all the way back up to the pedestal, and then he's got to walk over to sprinkle it into the magic pot there.
And Scottish Brave does not know that the powder is on the pedestal here. But again, you're pulling it after you're done with Skullwoods.
Yeah, it's just a blind check there. No reason to go check it.
Really giving Fred the business. And Fred's going to give it 2 bombs, and then give it another 2 bombs after he pulls it. There's our powder! Oh, he's not going to give it 2 more bombs. Of course, Fred doesn't do what I say he's going to do. Case number 11, Fred. I'll remember this. SpeedGaming Live, Herndon, Virginia, coming up this October. I'll remember this. If he goes. I hope to see him there. Hope to see you there. You being everyone who watches. What were you about to say?
Oh yeah, I was going to say you might see me there, but...
Oh my goodness! I've never seen that before!
Yeah, that Armor's Knight can get stuck down there. Luckily, you can still kill it, but it's not it's not designed for this room. This room gives some of the bosses some trouble.
There they are, 1 hour 45 minutes and 3 seconds. Fred is the first of these runners into go mode. He's got to go finish off Swamp Palace. He has to do Desert Palace. Scottish Brave has to go grab this and go get the powder turned in.
Yeah, this is still very close.
Scottish Brave has a little bit of a lead. Oh, wait.
I'm gonna be like, don't leave it. Please don't leave it.
She does a double take right there. Anyways, here we go.
All right, so if Scottish Brave goes and turns this in immediately, and I don't see why she wouldn't, this is still going to be very, very close because she is going to have the boots before Fred finishes Swamp Palace here. So
yep,
got a little bit of advantage there.
Yep. Yeah, the big thing here is the fact that Fred has to triple dip this Swamp Palace, whereas Scottish Brave was able to double dip it. Fred got the mitts earlier on, left the dungeon, and then had to come back later with the Ice Rod, not in his arsenal, but only to pull the Fire Rod, because the seed was an absolute jerk and made it so that you needed the Fire Rod to get the Ice Rod.
Yeah, tough to make good decisions to see. It's just the way that it was set up. Just eventually, you made the wrong choice somewhere, and now we see the results here.
Killer app pointing out that Fred has double dipped 4. He actually double dipped or triple dipped, either or, 5 dungeons in this seed. Actually, make it 6. 2 of them of which the Scottish Brave had to double dip, or 3 of them actually. Scottish Skullwoods 2. The only dungeon that Fred has done in one go is the Tower of Hera. Wow, yeah, Fred has double dipped 9 of the 10 dungeons.
Yeah, I guess it depends on if you call Thieves to have a double dip going back in immediately after killing the boss.
Okay, 8 out of 9. 8 out of 10. Because I'm not going to call that a double dip. He got that mirror in the first trip in. He didn't have to go back later.
Yeah, he didn't come back, yeah.
So, 8 out of 10 dungeons.
And one of which was a triple dip of Swamp, which is one of the worst ones to go in and out of.
Yeah, because you have to reset the water.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a different story in Cross Keys where you don't have to play with the damn water 3 times. But here in this mode, Here we go. So, Scottish Brave is heading back and is already getting ready to face off against the Argus, which is the boss of this desert palace. So Fred's probably about a minute and a half behind right now, but this is not done and over with yet.
We still gotta find the GT Bicky.
Yes. And remember, your nerves, they're shot at this point in time. Especially Scottish Brave. This being down 1-0 in the series, 1 hour 48 minutes in.
Yeah, you're entering GT about an hour and 50 minutes into a seed, and that's a pretty substantial amount of time for for this level.
Anyways, Norse Maddie, that is crystal number 7 for Scottish Brave. We have a guessing game that we do on this channel.
Yeah, 1 through 22. Where is the GT big key? Rick, do you have a favorite number?
I don't usually go with a favorite number. I just do what my gut feels today, and it's going to be 14. That's unfortunate for Fred. That's a mirror bonk. So the answer pretty much here is we are going to go with Scottish Brave's numbers here, since she will be the first one into GT. But I think number 14. What about you, Norse, Maddie?
I usually say 8, but I'm going to say 2 this time. I'd like to be a little bit. The seed has been bad enough. We don't need any more troubles.
And what about our tracker? What does Genesee Girl say? Not sure I'm seeing any sort of number there, but... She's saying that I'm making her name way harder on myself than I need to.
I think it's Jinxie Girl, isn't it?
I'm adding an extra syllable, aren't I?
But be sure to think.
I've not been right all seed long, so why start now?
Be sure to thank Jinxie Girl for tracking for us this whole long seed. Done a great job.
Yes, let's shout out Jinxie Girl. Thank you.
Well, there's half magic there in the first chest hope room.
Yeah, where was this the rest of the seed? Fred finishing off with the Argus fight. As Scottish Brave shows us that there's a piece of heart on the torch for number 3. And number 4 is just some bombs. Number 5 is a piece of heart. Number 6 is a small key. Number 7 is a small key. It looks like Jinxie Girl's, I don't know what Jinxie Girl's number was. I just know that your number was incorrect and mine's probably not going to be correct either.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, it's going to probably be tile room.
Well, one of the benefits of picking a lower number is that you know if you're right or wrong very quickly.
Hey, we got ourselves the gold sword.
Yeah, we're gonna find a lot of the stuff. We've checked everything except for the rest of Desert Palace. So we have a lot to find here.
You know the crazy thing is we have not found a mail upgrade at all.
We haven't found a mail upgrade. We hadn't found a half magic. We hadn't found the gold sword. We haven't found silvers.
Silvers are probably in the light world.
They're probably in Desert Palace.
No, they're probably in the light world.
The mushroom?
Mushroom, yes. That's the only thing in the light world we haven't checked.
That's right.
All right, rando room coming up here for Scottish Brave. Yep, it's over here. And it's going to be at number 13. So if you pick number 13, you are the winner. As Scottish Brave gets ready to climb the tower. So Scottish Brave looking in a decent shape here to have to tie this series up and force a game 3 between these two.
Yeah, she has a pretty good lead here. So just don't nothing, really unfortunate. She should be able to finish this off and force that game 3.
Now, it's not a gigantic lead here for Scottish Brave, but Fred is going to do the left side. I don't think he's going to do any right side shenanigans at this stage. Scottish Brave barely getting through the mimics with 3 arrows remaining. Now, of course, this trip of the tower is not your conventional tower because of the fact that we have 2 different bosses.
Oh yeah, we could see another Trinex. We haven't seen any duplicates except for blinds, so we know that we're not going to see any blinds. But every other boss is on the table here for this one coming up here, which is normally the second Lambos fight, and then at the very top, the second Moldorm fight.
The only boss we have not seen is Coldster yet. There's the gold sword for Fred. The only thing is that if it's going to be Trinex, it's going to be soon. Well, we've got Cold Stare.
That's our first one. We get to fight Cold Stare on this black void here.
With random ice particles flying into your face. Fred about to get the big key to climb up this tower. And there he is dispensing his bombs in Rando Room. There is his big key. And up the stairs he goes. So we know we're not going to get any Trinexes here. So what boss are we going to get the duplicate of at the Helmasaur? Oh, not the Helmasaur, the Moldorm 2 fight.
I was going to say Helmasaur, because, I've been wrong every single time I've guessed one of these bosses, so
well,
won't be, but...
Well, I've been wrong in what Fred does this entire siege, so I guess let's be wrong one more time, and I think we're going to have one more Vitreous.
That's a fair choice, yeah.
Scottish Brave not opting to open up any of these chests. All right, we have... Yay.
Oh, it's a vanilla Moldorm, all right.
Vanilla Five-Eyed Moldorm. 2 hits of the sword, down it goes.
So, finally, after all this, Scottish Brave will be heading in here to kill Aga 2, and then on to Ganon to finish this thing out.
Nice arrow down there for Fred. And I don't know if that's a double or triple for Scottish Brave. That may have been at the same time, so it could have only counted as a double.
Yeah, it could be hard to tell sometimes with this, but... That was definitely a triple. A very friendly setup, too.
Yep. Chad already saying that if the silvers turn out to be Light World, I will lose it. It's a possibility at this stage. Anyway, Scottish Brave getting ready to drop on down into the Ganon fight. Gold sword, silverless fight coming up here. You just gotta maintain control of your nerves at the hour 58 mark.
Yeah, we have the gold sword, so it'll make these first 2 phases easy. We don't have any mail upgrades, so you do have to make sure you don't take too many hits. Should be okay, but just have to be a little bit careful. I don't know if she has a potion or not, but
yeah, having gold sword makes the first 2 stages easy. Takes a bop or 2 from the bats.
Should still be okay. As you did have a potion, so.
Yep, fills up on life right there. Arrows are in Ganon's tower. I mean, that was the obvious choice. There's like a whole bunch of places in his tower where they could have been.
Right, and so few places outside of his tower that they could have been.
Bombs there for Fred. Uses 2 of them right there. Scottish Brave doing 12 spins to win.
Just a few more. Setting up for those triples there.
I think 1 more to go. Nope. Maybe 1 more. Cycle to go. There it is. And with that, Scottish Brave has evened up this series and has forced a winner-takes-all game number 3. Has defeated fcoughlin in what turned out to be a full clear, except for, I guess, tower. Nick Boss, get your GGs in the chat for Scottish Brave.
And Fred is going to be right behind, dropping into Ganon right now.
Official time for Scottish Brave, 2 hours and 22 seconds. And as Fred faces off against Ganon, we welcome in the winner of this race, Scottish Brave.
Hello.
All right, so your thoughts on this seed as a whole, and summarize your thoughts in 5 words or less.
I'm not allowed to swear. Oh, this is tough.
I was just going to say, this is a family-friendly channel, so keep that in mind.
No, perfect. Are you ready? I did this to myself because I rolled this. I rolled this.
You rolled this gem of a pedestal to get a powder off the pedestal seed here.
I did. So in Mire, I was like, believe in Mire and all that. And I was like, that made my feelings how I feel about Mire. And then I was like, okay, do you know what? I'm in here. This could be ped. And I think I'm being a bit too cautious, but let's finish Mire just in case, because woods, and then, you know, I can go and do it. And when it got there, and I was like, okay, I'll do Skull Woods. And I got it, and I read Ped, and it was, you know, this turns into anti-fairies into fairies. I'm like, that's a check. That is a check.
I love the double take you did once you found out that it was. Hey, we found out where one of our mail upgrades was. It was on the mushroom turn-in that we never saw.
Was it? Oh yeah. Do you know what? I wasn't even looking. I was too busy cradling my head in my hands, thinking what have I just done.
There goes Ganon for Fred. Get your GGs in chat as he finishes off this seed. All right, so at what point do you feel in this seed that you were behind Fred?
Probably. So I dipped. What did I do? I dipped Swamp. And that was nice. I couldn't believe that fire rod. and I was putting off pod in Eastern until I got like a fire source, because whilst I'm fine in Eastern, the turtle room, the dark turtle room, can cause me problems. So I was like, just hold off, and then I got it. I was like, right, let's go. And then I don't know. We just kind of hit a point where I checked. I knew Swamp was trying X, so I couldn't do it. I checked in Desert, needed the boots, and so I was like, okay, up the mountain, needed Bomb Boss, and I'm like, okay, I've missed something. I have to have missed something, because there's no way that all my last 3 dungeons are now locked out to me, because I thought maybe I'm just Ice Rod locked here, maybe I'm Ice Rod Go. But I was like, no, I have to have missed something. And that was panic started setting in right then and there.
So I'm going to ask the same question to Fred here as we welcome into the conversation. All right, there we go. So we welcome in Fred in the conversation. So I'm going to ask Fred the same question. And I already think I know what your answer is, but I'm going to offer the same thing to you as I did Scottish Brave. Your thoughts about the seed in 5 words or less.
Let's see. I need to come up with the 5th word now. Because I think son of a monkey is absolutely the phrase I'm going to use on this.
Well, remember, I said the word or less, so 4 words count.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to see if I could come up with a descriptive word to add at the front, but we'll stop it there.
Well, you could add an adjective to the monkey.
True.
But I kind of think that you both had a chance to talk over the break here about what wound up going on with this seed. And there's 2 points I think definitely changed the role of this seed in a way. And that was, first of all, the Mire dip for Fred that turned out to be a double dip, and the fact that you triple dip Swamp, I think, were the biggest ones.
Yeah, that one hurt. I was trying to decide whether or not to go, and I saw the mids. I said, okay, this opens up a lot of stuff. I see it's a Trinex. Let me just go. I just needed to try to... I was like, there's a bunch of other stuff that's open.
And unfortunately, you got funneled back in there to get the fire rod, so that way you could get the ice rod out of Turtle Rock because of the key layout.
Yep, I knew there was that potential risk there, and especially once I was up on the mountain checking Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny there, I was like, oh, okay, I can go in there, but I'm going to get 1 item and block. And yep, I was like, okay, this is not one of the key sanity modes where at least you can make part way through the dungeon without it, so... Yeah, that was a little bit of a painful one there.
Yeah, and so obviously one kind of interesting statistic about this seed in regards to you, Fred, and I think this pretty much summarizes this entire run through the seed. You double dipped 8 of 10 dungeons.
I'd believe that. I didn't realize it was quite that high, but I would definitely believe that.
Yep, because you went through Pod without the bow, Eastern without the bow.
Yep. Desert without boots.
Right, some of them you had to double dip.
Yeah. But I mean, let's see, Desert without boots, I forgot about the fact that was a required double dip there. But yeah, basically everything else. I mean, I don't consider the Skull Woods double dip really a double dip because... Well, I guess that one, I had to go for the back item there. So,
right, you had to come back in to get the double... That's the only reason why I was considering that a double dip.
Yeah.
And I won't count Thieves Town because you went back in. Both of you, thankfully, got back in to get that mirror.
Yeah, as I said, I just was like, you know what, there's 3 items here, there's a bunch left, let's go do it. But I've seen a number of people in this mode say, okay, I'm clearing the boss and I'm done. I don't want to waste the time walking through the back, so... I was kind of hoping Scottish would have done that.
No, I set it up so I could go back into Thieves Town, do the boss. So happy to see Vitty there, thrilled. And then I could go right to the back and save and quit from there, because I'd cleared everything else around it. So I was like, I've set this up so good. And then I got the mirror, I was like, awesome! Yeah. All my hard work out the window, thank you, game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, yeah, check me out.
And yet you still saved and quit.
Yeah, I had the plan in my head. I don't remember what the plan was to do after that. I think when I got that and I saw Swamp light up, I was like, right, okay, let's just go Swamp now. But yeah, I just got the mirror and blanked for a second. I was like, save and quit, think about what you're doing, because you get like 5 seconds to think.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it, and then it was like, okay, Swamp next, let's just go in. and then yeah, I made the right call in Swamp, and then everything after that was a disaster.
To be
Both made a good
fair,
disaster there.
this was not necessarily a easy seed. Like, for instance, when you get to the pedestal and you see the word, I can turn anti-fairies into fairies. You know this is not a easy seed.
Yeah.
By the way, shout outs to both of you with the collection rate of 177.
Oh, matched.
Nice. That's awesome.
Nice. Oh wow. Yeah.
All right. Now, one last question from me, then I'll turn the floor over to Norris Committee to wrap things up here. Now, you both were talking. You've set a time for game number 3 tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.
All right. Channel to be determined, of course. And what mode? I'll start with Scottish Brave. What mode would you like to see for game 3?
Oh, I would like A keys. I'm not going to be particular on which one, but maybe inverted keys to finish would be fun.
And Fred?
You know what? I'll go with that too. Although I don't know if my odds are great at that, but I would definitely. I love playing inverted, so let's go with that one.
Yeah, mine aren't either. I think I've had 2 question mark already.
I'm trying to remember from what our, because I know a couple come back onto the card with the fact that we had our race today, but Tournament Hard was off the board since we had that one for race 1, so that'll be halfway there. Tournament Keys was actually regular keys was off the board, so we actually inverted or Ambrosia might be the 2 that we're most likely to get tomorrow.
Taking a look at what the deck created this, it was 0204. So obviously, McBoss, you lose all the cards to that. So it looks like, I don't know what your 5th race ago was, but if not, Inverted Keys or Ambrosia looks like it could be your game 3.
I'd take either of those. Those sound fun.
Okay with Ambrosia, actually, yeah. So, yeah, Ambrosia would be okay, but I'm going to hype up for inverted keys.
All right. GG's to both of you. I'll turn the floor over to Norris Committee for the wrap-up here.
Yep, thanks, Rick. Thanks to both fcoughlin and ScottishBrave44 for putting on this great show for us. Sticking with this really fun seed. Fun to watch. I don't know if it was as fun for you to play, but I don't think that collection rate does either of you justice, honestly, even though it's the same. But let me go ahead and thank Jinxie Girl for tracking for us today. Long seed, stuck with it, did a great job. Thanks to Adirondack Rick for joining me in the booth. Really fun to come with you today. And thank you to everyone who watched, participated in the chat. Hope you had a good time. I think that's it. Rick, any final thoughts from you?
Well, I think the seed in the term son of a monkey says it all for this one. So thank you to both of our runners. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, game 3, winner moves on. And, well, the loser, well, we hope you had a fun tournament, I guess, is the best way of saying it. But thank you very much for joining us here on Speed Gaming for Luigi's Mansions coming up here at the top of the hour. Don't forget to check out the other Speed Gaming channels as well as ALTTP Randomizer for ongoing tournament stuff this afternoon. Have a great night.
Goodbye, everyone.